Hello everyone, and this is Erik Bryant. We are back with the Erik Bryant Show, episode 3. This is part 2. Just to follow up on what I was talking about before part 1 ended, talking about the Boston Red Sox. I just looked it up during the break, and the Toronto Blue Jays did indeed defeat the Boston Red Sox in Fenway 7-3. Now on to some football news. And Drew Brees had an affidavit earlier today where he was defending teammate Jonathan Vilma, saying he had no knowledge. This is Drew Brees saying he had no knowledge of a paid-to-injure program and has yet to see any evidence. And he praised Jonathan Vilma's integrity and leadership on the field. Also, in a conspiracy kind of quarterback other player related story, Tony Romo has also came out and said that he is standing behind his teammate, wide receiver Erik Bryant. He said he knows Dez is not a bad guy. He's a great guy on the field and a good teammate to play with. Yes, he might be a good guy on the field, but he's a guy who assaulted his mom. I get that you're the quarterback, Tony Romo, Drew Brees, and you want to back your teammates. You want to show solidarity in the clubhouse, and as the actual leader on the team, being the quarterback, you want to show the whole team unity and everything. But you got one guy defending a guy who beat up on his mother. You got another guy who's defending a guy who went out to intentionally hurt people on the football field.
And you know it.
And it comes a time sometimes where you just don't say anything. You're the quarterback, Drew Brees. You didn't hit anyone. You're not involved in this whole bounty program thing.
Everybody
just shut up.
They just happened to catch us this year.
My wife's a Saint fan.
It's because they don't want us to play in and host the Super Bowl. They're trying to screw us over.
And maybe
it's not going to work.
And maybe with this next comment, next story, it might shut her up a little bit, and it also kind of made Drew Brees look kind of stupid too. Alex Smith said that he felt frightened but flattered about being a target in the Saints' bounty in their playoff game in January. Greg Williams was recorded as saying, it was one of the piece of evidence given to the court. He was recorded as saying, every single one of you, before you get off the pile, affect the head. Continue, touch, and hit the head. And he's not talking about the bathroom, folks. He's talking about hitting Alex Smith in the head, injuring him, taking him out. What a humanitarian of a man that Greg Williams is. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Yet Greg Williams didn't get accused of it in Washington.
That's because
but he does get accused of it
in New Orleans because they're horrible. I got 2 words for you, RG3 fans. Jamarcus Russell.
The bottom line is Alex Smith felt frightened but flattered. That in itself just makes me laugh. Tony Romo is backing a mother beater, and Drew Brees is backing a guy who could replace Dog the Bounty Hunter on his show. Now, one more piece of football news. Tim Tebow, we love him, is working out with Tom House, a throwing guru. Who has actually worked with Tom Brady in the past, Alex Smith, Carson Palmer, and actually the first quarterback he worked with was Drew Brees when Drew was a member of the San Diego Chargers. So it's a good resume for Tom House with the guys that he's worked with in the past, the quarterbacks, who have went on to have pretty good success. Tom Brady and Drew Brees have won Super Bowls. Alex Smith showed a lot of signs of improving, getting his team into the playoffs, having an impressive regular season this year. and Carson Palmer put up some good numbers in Cincinnati. So Tim Tebow hoping to learn some throwing skills and take that job from Mark Sanchez and try to lead the Jets to something more than another letdown. And the second question of the night, get to that. What is the most annoying thing that people do in public that make you mad? And one of my Facebook followers, Shan Willis, said, scratch their butts, pop gum loud, talk on the phone loud, and dig in their nose. Also, take their kids to the store and have them crying and screaming and don't say shit. Also, Lauren Bryant, my wife, chiming in again, says complain. By the way, just a little background, both these women work at the same place but just not in the same location. Complain. Let their children run wild and not say a damn word. Breathe. How about that one? And letting them annoy the shit out of the cashier. She also added, I wasn't going to add this part, but she added, if one more little ankle biter brat snatches something from me, I'm beating every kid in the store. That'll make you popular quick. Also, Shaka Smith said coughing crazy without covering their mouth. I agree with all of these, but I'm going to add one because the reason why I even asked this question is because something that really upsets me, pisses me off, let's go to that level, happened again this morning as I was taking my wife to work. When you go to certain stores like Walmart, Target, well, they all really, I think, have it now, but when you go to like anything, grocery stores, Walmart, Target, places like that, the parking lots are designed with arrows. Arrows that go down mean you go this way. Arrows that go up mean you go the other way. The thing is, why the hell are the arrows there? Because no one pays attention to them. Because going from taking my wife to work, I get ready to go down one of the lanes that has an arrow going up for me to go up and out of the parking lot and get back onto the road. But what happens when I'm about to turn in to go into one of the up arrows? Here comes a car coming down the damn lane, almost hit me because they were stupid, then honked the horn at me and proceeded to cuss through their window at me like I did something wrong. If you look at where the fucking arrows are, you will know that obviously you're the dumbass that did something wrong and went down the wrong damn way. I almost said something else. You're the one that went the wrong damn way. People, learn what arrows fucking mean. This means you go that way. This means you go this way. That way. To the left. You can't see my hand. To the right. All of that. If there's an arrow on the road, if there's an arrow in the department store, the grocery store, parking lot where you're at, go the way it points. That will save a lot of accidents, injuries, confusion, and it will make you look like less of a dumbass. All you have to do is just follow the damn arrow. That's all I can say. Can't say that enough. Can't stress it enough. And that was probably the 1,020th time that I've seen someone do something that stupid. Usually I just go all the way to the other end of the parking lot, to the place where no one usually comes down or goes up, and that way it's safe, because nowadays you don't know what's going to happen driving. Like I've told my wife many times, and I was told when I was being taught to drive many years ago, you have to drive defensively now, because you don't really worry about, once you get the skill, you don't really worry about yourself driving. You got to worry about the other damn idiots on the road, because you don't know where they got their license, how they got it, and sometimes you don't know why they even have one. because obviously it appears that they can't damn drive. One positive thing I guess you could say is, being here in Virginia, the drivers aren't as batshit crazy as they are where I'm from in the good old state of Georgia. That's another story for another day. That would take 16 parts to talk about how dumb Georgia drivers are. Have a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and do what I said if I had time I would do in part 1. Go ahead and give you my thoughts on last night's Smackdown, and this won't take long. The show started with the segment of Rey Mysterio returning. Of course, should just say the show was from San Diego, California. So Rey comes out, huge pop because all his people are there, and it's where he's from. And Alberto Del Rio came out, interrupting. They go back and forth. Dolph Ziggler comes out trying to find out why Del Rio ruined his chance to cash in the briefcase. And at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, they go back and forth. Then they decide to team up a little and jump on Rey. Before they can do that, Sheamus comes out, and even though Teddy Long wasn't there and wasn't the GM, in old Teddy Long fashion, it sets up a main event tag team match: Mysterio and Sheamus versus Ziggler and Del Rio. Del Rio in that segment also left Dolph by himself in the ring to get beat up on. He avoided the 619. That, spoiler alert, later in the show he could not avoid. 8-man tag. It was Primo and Epico teaming with the WWE Tag Team Champions R-Truth and Kofi, taking on Unico, Camacho, the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. It's a pretty good match. They gave it enough time. It looks like Triple H is trying to do what he said he was going to try to do, and that is to strengthen the tag team division up a little bit, develop some young teams, try to put people together that mesh well together, and put this tag team division back together soon. And it looks like that they are trying to do that. They give the guys a proper amount of time. The Darren Young, Penn Epico, and the Primetime Players, Unico and Camacho, win the match. AW, the guy who used to be called Abraham Washington when he was there in ECW, probably was the funniest because, as you know, he's mic'd up during the match and he says some pretty funny things. He's better actually than the commentary during the Primetime Players matches, especially on SmackDown when Booker's there. Big Show comes out afterwards to clean house, and he got everybody but the Primetime Players who saw Big Show coming and ran for cover. Some call it being a coward. Some call it, like me, not being a victim. Squash match pretty much. Damian Sandow in a few minutes beat Zack Ryder pretty easily. That was kind of a ho-hum moment. People complain that Zack Ryder's being buried now and his push is over, and he probably got a bigger push than he ever deserved to begin with. But again, that's another story for another day. Quickly, the Peep Show with Daniel Bryan and AJ talking about their wedding plans. They went over, they showed a little video of those two picking out flowers and gluten-free cake. Yum. And both of them smashing into each other's face, kissing and things like that. Christian says he doesn't buy it. He doesn't think Daniel Bryan really loves him. AJ slapped Christian. Christian called her a bridezilla, and then said that Daniel Bryan would have to face one of AJ's former boyfriends, Kane. The match ended in disqualification when AJ jumped on his back, tried to pull his mask off. Kane swung her around, looked like they were going to kiss, but she got out of the ring. Heath Slater came out, got beat by the latest legend, which was Road Warrior Animal, who actually looked pretty good. And the main event ended in disqualification with Dolph Ziggler thinking about cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase, but Rey Mysterio stopped him with a 619. And that is all from me. I will see you tomorrow. Erik Bryant Show.